Beautiful, happy Thursday. Monique Allen here, certified holistic nutritionist and founder of the PCOS Weight Loss Blueprint, where I help women with PCOS to lose weight without a restricted diet, popping pills, and spending hours in the gym. And today I'd like to talk to you all about fertility, weight loss, and PCOS. So first things first, don't mind if you see me peering down. I have some notes here to kind of keep my mind steady so I don't really go off on much of a tangent. So let's start off. Okay, so let's talk about PCOS and weight gain. Okay, so let me just say that PCOS presents and progresses differently in each woman. So some women will have no issues with weight, will be rather slender, while others will be more so on the curvier, thicker side, right? And the reason why this happens is because, as you know, PCOS causes elevation in male hormones, such as testosterone. And testosterone causes fat to more so accumulate around the midsection. So even if you are more slender woman, you notice that you have stubborn fat or stubborn weight around your midsection that just won't move. That's due to PCOS. All right. And again, I have a program, the PCOS Weight Loss Blueprint, which is, I would say, more than just a weight loss program, because I do walk you through a 12-step method to gaining control over your PCOS symptoms. And amazingly enough, the same method that you use to, or you would use to quote unquote lose weight, will also help in your other areas with PCOS, because again, weight is just a symptom of PCOS, not the cause of the issue, just a symptom. All right, so that's it for weight. When it comes on to fertility and PCOS, there are so many different factors to consider. I would say the core one is to ensure that you are producing or releasing an egg, that is ovulation. You have to consider the egg quality. It takes 2 steps to consider your sperm quality, that, right? But what I do within my program is that, let's backtrack. If you are a woman with PCOS and you're actively trying to conceive, I would suggest that you go on a protocol, a pregnancy protocol. Even if you're a woman without PCOS, go on a pregnancy protocol, I would say around at least 6 months before you decide that you're actually ready. Because one of the things that you need to consider is your egg quality, and your diet and your nutrition does determine that. So make sure everything is good. Make sure you're taking all your supplements. Make sure you're having your healthy whole foods to improve your egg quality and your chances of falling pregnant and actually carrying a pregnancy to full term. Because sometimes if your cycle is more so irregular, what can happen sometimes is that you can have sex with your partner, you can actually fertilize your egg, but because your hormones aren't where they're supposed to be, or there's an imbalance, or there's a situation of estrogen dominance, which I don't know why I throw that in, that's probably going to throw you off a bit, but let's just stay with me. When you have a situation of that happening, what happens is that you have lower than normal, lower than expected levels of progesterone, and that can lead to you having a miscarriage. So for persons that tend to have cycles that they have long bleeds, and you notice you have that spotting and that, so continue, that might show issues with your progesterone levels. Talk to your doctor about that. Okay, so another thing when it comes on to considering fertility and PCOS, it is definitely possible for a woman with PCOS to have a natural pregnancy. I would say around 30% of women with PCOS will conceive without any issues, while 70% may need a little bit of help and a little bit of guidance, but it is possible. And that is going the natural route, as in not using IVF or not using fertility drugs. It's definitely possible. For those persons that do have to take that route, that's a fair option as well. But please note that you also have to make sure that your lifestyle is one that supports your body supporting and carrying a baby full term and healthily. All right, so let's talk about considerations. One of the things that you need to consider also is gestational diabetes. All right, so let us talk about insulin, or a very, very important friend when it comes on to PCOS. So as a woman with PCOS, more than likely your body is in a state of insulin resistance. That means that it is less sensitive to insulin. But when you get pregnant, that beautiful baby and that lovely placenta causes your body to become even more resistant to insulin. This is for all women, but even more so for women with PCOS, if they don't have it managed from before they actually fall pregnant, can increase the chances of having gestational or pregnancy diabetes, which I don't think we would really want to avoid that. Definitely would want to. All right, so the other thing is when it comes on to ovulation. All right, so when it comes on to losing weight to help your body ovulate or being able to bring that egg to the point of ovulation, the interesting thing is that the weight loss that you may have to be is probably around 10 to 15 pounds. And even before I get to all that, I should really talk about weight loss and the BMI and all that, but it's on my notes, so we'll reach there eventually, right? So we need to lose that amount. That's the general around, they say around 5 to 7% of your body weight to achieve a positive ovulation. Another thing that we should be concerned about is preeclampsia, which is basically, let's just call it pregnancy high blood pressure, hypertension during pregnancy, which can more than likely increase your chances of having a premature baby, a little tiny blessing. That's one factor to think about. And going back to the BMI, all right. So I'm going to say this. The BMI scale, to many professionals, they consider it to be outdated. So there are many professionals that don't even consider the BMI because it doesn't account for muscle mass. It doesn't account for the placement of fat. That is fat that's stored on the thighs and on the bum on my juicy ladies. That is better fat than fat stored around the midsection. So what I encourage my clients to do is that it's just basically toss up the scale and pay attention to your waist to height ratio. There's actually a calendar that you can find online or a calculator that you can find online. I'm going to see if I can possibly link it within the description of this video, or you can just drop a comment on this video saying scale, and I'll just send it over to you via DM, right? So that's the BMI scale. So don't watch the scale too much, more so pay attention and make notes of how your body feels and how your clothing fits. And if you wear waist beads, watch those waist beads. Are they rising up? Are they falling down? That can really tell you a lot when it comes on to tracking weight loss, especially with PCOS. And if you're also doing resistance training, which allows you to build muscle. All right. So that's it for the BMI, ovulation, gestational diabetes. We spoke a bit about fertility. We did, and what goes into having a healthy pregnancy. Another thing, as I said before, you have to consider, and even when it comes on to falling pregnant is achievable, but another thing to consider is your ability to bring that pregnancy to full term. We want to definitely avoid a miscarriage. And there are a few things that can cause a miscarriage. One, it can be issues with your progesterone. That's one issue. It could be your partner's sperm quality. That's another thing. And it could also be issues with your gut. I know it's kind of far-fetched to think that your gut can affect your fertility, but think of it this way, right? That beautiful child, that little blessing, as amazing as it is basically a little parasite. I know it's kind of a hard way to describe the baby, but your baby is basically a little parasite, right? And what that baby does is that it extracts nutrients from the food that you're eating. And if you are unable to properly nourish yourself, your body is like, we can't handle a child. This child is not doing us good. Poof, we are going to lose the child and we're going to have a miscarriage. That's one of the factors that can cause a miscarriage. And for my ladies that have suffered miscarriage, I'm in no way saying that a miscarriage is due to your personal activities. I don't want you to feel any guilt about this. Yeah. So that's one thing when it comes on to a miscarriage. Another thing to consider also is your lactation, because many women with PCOS actually have issues with producing adequate breast milk, which is a whole different conversation. And actually, that's one of the things that I like to do about my program, the PCOS Weight Loss Blueprint. I think of it like a primary program. So you come into the program. How rude is Jamaica? How rude. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I lost that footage. How rude. Well, if I didn't lose it, I'm going to close this video now before this happens again. So if you're a woman with PCOS and you'd like to know what the first steps are for you to prepare your body for pregnancy and also just gain control of your PCOS symptoms, whether that be having a regular cycle, whether that be ensuring that you're ovulating each month, whether that be what to eat and how to eat to ensure proper egg quality, what to do to prevent your chances of developing gestational diabetes. We're starting now. All right, so that's my little rant for Flo. Yes. So if you're a woman with PCOS and you'd like to get additional guidance on how to prepare your body for pregnancy, how to gain control over your PCOS symptoms, how to have increased energy, how to prevent diabetes, how to have a regular cycle each month, how to ensure that you're ovulating each month, go ahead and send me a message and I'll tell you more about my program and we'll figure out if it's a good step for you. That's it for now, and I will see you guys